Sacramento's another team I think I'm looking at to where I
Yeah.
think they're a few pieces away from really making some noise, and they already did. I mean, we see the Draymond rumors. I don't know if I necessarily believe those, but having 30 million to play around with, I hope though that they don't just spend it on one player. That's what I will say. I hope they're able to spread that out to hopefully, two solid rotational guys. Because, I mean, you're bringing in a guy like Colby Jones. I think your guard play is somewhat solidified, but then now you're kind of looking more at the wings. If you're able to, like you were saying, if you're able to bring back Harrison Barnes on a team friendly deal, that would be amazing. But I mean, their team, I think this offseason is arguably maybe even outside of maybe last year during the trade deadline, this might be kind of when you look back on it, one of the defining moments for the franchise as a whole, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you said it best. I think if they are going to spend all their money on one player, it's probably going to be Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a scenario here that I thought would be interesting. If what's the approximate amount? 30 million?
I think
33?
that's how much Kuz wants. Yeah.
So, and believe that's what Sacramento has open currently.
Mm-hmm.
No, 30 million. I think you take a flyer at Bruce Brown.
You're giving
You take a
Bruce Brown 30 M's?
no, not 30
Oh,
M's
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're saying the other scenario is you don't want to use up the whole 30 on a player,
yeah.
right? So I think Bruce Brown is probably going to demand anywhere between 12 and 18 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take a flyer on a guy who, when not injured, actually had a really good season this year. You look at Kelly Oubre,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another guy I think is gonna be
right?
like,
And I think they needed dynamic wing scorers, some athleticism. I think Bruce Brown is a playmaker. We saw when he has the ball in his hands this past year how good he actually is. Like Bruce
yeah,
Brown really is a solid player. Like he's a very good basketball player. Like he's a hooper. Like the dude can get to the rim. He could clearly shoot. He could play make. He could create, and he can defend multiple positions, and he can rebound. And I think Kelly Oubre is somewhat in that slot where you can bring him off the bench. He's a guy that can hit the three, create shots. There's length for him to defend. I just like the fact if they go on a younger route as well. I mean, Harrison Barnes, if he resigns to team friendly deal, I think that's really important for them to bring him back anyways for that continuity.
yeah.
But I mean, Bruce Brown and Kelly Oubre is not bad. I think that's an upgrade right away if they're
That
not
would
looking to
be
spend that full money. But
that would be a masterclass in GMing. I can't lie,
yeah,
man.
and I don't think Kelly Oubre is going to demand significant money this year because of the
Yeah, I
fact
think
that
him and
like
Bruce are probably both around that like 13 to 18 range.
exactly. So I mean, that's money well spent right there.
Mm.
Two very very good like solid valuable rotational players. So
Yeah, and I
yeah, I
mean,
think Sacramento for me is number one on my list right
oh
now in
yeah,
terms of like what they can do.
I mean, looking at, I believe also they had the bird rights on HB, so that 33,
Yeah,
36 can definitely go towards strictly, new guys. But I mean, yeah, I think that's probably, I would assume, majority of people who follow the NBA very closely. I think Sacramento is definitely probably the team you're most got your eyes set on.